All right, guys, here we're going to talk about the movie Cube. (1997's Cube. Lee, I know you've seen this one before.
I finally got a chance to say yes, and you stole it from me. Yes, no, of course. Cube is a classic, right? I've obviously seen it. People know this movie.
You've seen all three?
What?
There are three cubes. There's Cube, there's Cube 2, Hypercube, and then there's...
Is Cube 3 like cubed?
I think it's Cube 0.
Okay.
No,
they missed an opportunity there, because you have cube squared and then you have cube cubed. That's horrible. The other ones are probably horrible. I haven't thought about it.
Not terrible. Oh. The first one holds a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
This is a really fun movie. This is like a Saw before there was Saw.
Ooh, interesting.
Like type of thing. So if you like those movies, if you like traps and torture devices and weird shit like that, there's like some cool stuff here. Some good visual effects that I think inspired some later movies like Resident Evil and things.
I know what you mean. This is I think I might have had this on my personal pick shelf at the store. This might have been like something where I was like, you should watch this. It combines like that sort of gore stuff you're talking about with this interesting premise. It's very sci-fi oriented, and it even has pretentious stuff in it that I didn't explicitly remember. Now I'm like, now I know why I like this, because you feel smarter when you watch it, like you're figuring shit out, and you're not. You're just watching random math shit happen.
Yeah,
and it's great.
The elevator pitch for the movie is like a bunch of people wake up, with no memory of how they got to the place they were
in a cube.
Each in their own like individual cube, pretty much trying to avoid traps and get their way out of this maze.
It's like an unlikely group that has to work together. It is like maybe not. I haven't seen many Saws, but there's a lot of movies like this where like, how did we get here? What are we doing? Why are we in our underwear? Let's find our way out together. Who are you? Wait a minute. Are you? Oh no.
Always the creepiest part for me is in these movies when it's a group of people and they all wake up in the same outfit. I'm like, you changed them. Oh, that's so weird.
Did they powder their bottoms too? This is a violation. Yeah, no, it's creepy. It's a crazy thing.
So if you've seen this or don't care, falls over to spoilers, and if not, pull out now.
If you need a place to rent content, you better listen. We're Cannibal Video and we eat the competition.
All right, so here we are for the spoilers of Cube. Lee, let's hear those spoiler-filled thoughts.
How do you spoil Cube, man?
I tried carefully to, when describing it, to not be like, and they're in a cube of rotating boxes.
No,
to say it's a maze.
I think waking up in a cube is fine. I think that's a solid. We woke up in this fucking cube.
Yeah, my biggest, I think, spoilery issue with this is like the girl. What's her name? Slevin, I think is her name.
Levin?
I think it's.
It's not a real name either way.
Whatever her name is.
Math chick.
Her name is close to 11, as close as you can get without being good. But her broken glasses self steps on a piece of her broken glasses, and she realizes had we stayed in the first room, we would have just been fine. It would rotate back to where we started. But they don't all start in the same room, so that wouldn't work. It only worked for her.
Yeah.
So it's a weird statement to be like, had we just not moved at all, we'd have been fine.
She means like once they were in that room.
Yeah. But there'd be no way of knowing then.
That's the whole.
The science of it. Yeah. I think if they would have all started in this, it would have been more poetic almost. Had they all woken up in the same cube, and it would have been like, oh, had we just stayed here, we would have been fine. Like maybe they all woke up at different times and people kind of spread out and left.
I understand what you're saying, but whatever. The point is, they were all in that room debating about what to do.
It can't be that simple.
It won't be that simple.
Yes.
And she was on team we should be modern humans and do science, and then she was overruled by all the Nazis and the escape artists and the people with the agendas, and they started moving. We gotta go no matter what, and that's what fucked up the whole thing.
I do think I would be in the we have to go camp because the whole people will come looking for us.
Shouldn't we wait here? For what? To see if anybody comes?
No one's gonna come.
No, they won't.
No. What's interesting about this movie to me is, and looking back, rewatching it now with my adult brain, they call the one guy a Nazi.
He's endangering the pack.
Let him go, you Nazi!
He calls the one chick a bleeding heart liberal type whatever. It's very overt. Every character represents a different way. People in a group would advocate for how should we run this group?
Cut the risk with the numbers and the boot. Worth will go in first.
No, he won't, Quentin. We take turns.
How do we make decisions together? Like what are our priorities or whatever, right? And this is designed to kind of show the creator of Cube's vision of like, this is a bad way, don't do this way, type of thing,
Yeah.
right? Things shit can happen.
I probably would have been in
yes.
favor of following the escape artist. I would have been like,
Probably.
okay, so that's the only guy that's ever escaped anything,
No,
and I'm way out of my
They
so
wanted to,
killing him off.
he immediately dies.
Nailed.
So like
Yes.
at that point, I'd be like, well, we're probably fucked
Yes.
because I couldn't even trust the math. Like I'm not a math
Yeah.
whiz by any stretch of the imagination, but I know that when numbers end in 5 or 2, they're not prime for sure. And I read on her IMDb, is not good at math. So I'm gonna blame it her not being good at math, not knowing where to put the emphasis on a line she was saying, and the director not catching it or whatever.
Yeah.
Because in one of the ones she's like 555. Okay, that's not prime.
Oh, okay. She's like reading.
Yeah,
the
she,
lines
like
or
it should have been
whatever,
something where she zipped past that when she was
Yeah.
55, good, blah, blah, but because
Yeah.
she's not good at math,
Okay, 6:45. That's not prime.
and the director didn't, and I didn't catch it because again, not good at math.
No,
but in the like goofs and omissions section of IMDb, they're like they mislabel a lot of numbers and stuff.
Yeah, like that's what I meant by like it makes you feel smart when you're watching it by somehow like, oh, these characters are figuring out. But like it's kind of like Star Trek where it's like, well, yeah, gravity is a real thing and so is this type of particle, but like you're talking all this, it's just magic science, whatever. It's fine.
I would never
whatever.
pick up on any of these things. I'd be dead in a heartbeat.
No, and it's insane, honestly, for them to have been so successful when they were using like the wrong theory.
First, I thought that they were identified by prime numbers, but they're not. They're identified by numbers that are the power of a prime.
Okay, so?
Can you calculate that?
The numbers are huge.
For like so
Yeah.
long, which again, and there's a lot of like logistical problems like that. I think this was a good movie for me when I was 15 to be like, we all live in the cube, man. Life is a cube. Like that's how this is science fiction. You have to watch it more like that.
I'd say the worst
than,
error is was it Quentin's character, the cop
guy.
like catching up to them. I'm like, how the fuck did he do that?
I like know where to go or whatever.
Like,
Or-
you could look at it two ways, where it's like, how did he get that far behind that he couldn't just keep following them? Because I know his neck gets pinched in the fucking doorway and whatnot. But like, he responds instantly like, no, you didn't kill me, motherfucker. Like, he could have opened the
Surprise,
door like
motherfucker.
right then.
Is he dead?
Not quite! Not even close!
But he didn't. He like waited long enough that they got away from him long enough.
Like my interpretation of that is they got the other door closed before he got that door open, and he had to like try and check a little, and then he like it was just right behind them enough, and that's
I
why he was
guess.
right there. But I'm just making that up. It's whatever.
But
right? It's fine.
didn't the whole cube system like move? I guess it all would have moved. Well, actually, I don't know. I don't know the order of how things move. Like if you were in this cube, it doesn't necessarily mean the one next to it moves with you.
So if we wanted to nitpick the cube, which I don't want to do, there's a few shots where they poke their heads out and you can see like interior columns of emptiness where cubes move through and shit like that, which implies that like when you're in a like a random room, any of the doors the whole time could have led to like a hole, but they just never had that happen. Or maybe the rooms rotate, like sometimes they enter a room and they hear the noise, and I'm like, okay, is that the system putting a room next to every side of them? To make sure that never happens, it's a little weird.
There's like a throwaway line that may be true or maybe not, because we nothing they're doing is fact check.
They're like
or whatever.
debating the
But they
theories,
said
yeah.
like, oh, before you get to the perimeter edge, there's a trap room. So you always have to go through a trap room to get to the outside edge.
So that's it? The edge is surrounded by traps.
Well, I guess we have to backtrack and try somewhere else.
Potentially they just never touched one of those ones where it'd be an empty void below them because they were smart enough to avoid all the trap rooms. Maybe. Again,
knows?
that's reading into it crazily. Just the idea, like, what is holding the whole thing up from rotating? Because it seems like it's just like a cube in the center of a voided cube.
We gotta get down to the bottom. It'll be easier to get onto the shell from there.
Well, they don't show the bottom. And,
They don't.
And like one guy says, we have to get to the bottom, I think, at one point too. Where I'm
That's
like, okay.
in my head. That's
reasonable.
logical.
Because you poke out and you're like, whatever, you're however many feet in the air, and you're like,
Yeah.
this doesn't work, right? But no, yeah, I think part of the cube's inscrutability is like intentional. Is you're not supposed to understand what's happening. You're supposed to feel what they feel of like, what's this? I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's a fun ride. I remember enjoying it as like a kid. I
Yeah.
enjoyed it this time around. I like some of the weird actors. You're like, oh, I've seen you in like the guy that plays the Ren or whatever. No, Ren was his name.
the escape artist.
Yeah, what was his
Oh,
name?
is he somebody?
This guy's the Wren.
The what?
He's the Wren. The bird of Attica flew the coop on 6 major prisons.
7.
I've seen him in a lot of things.
His
as
name's
like,
Rem. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know his real name.
I've seen him in a lot of things as just like the random guy. Even the very first guy with the buzzed head.
Yeah.
Usually he has longer hair and he always plays just like some creepy guy in things. He's
didn't
one of
know
those
that
like
guy.
character actors where you're like, I don't know your name, but I've seen you a whole lot. In this, he's as least recognizable as he ever was because of the buzz cut.
I was gonna say I didn't recognize it, but that might have been a really awesome move where audiences were like, "Oh, it's gonna be a movie with this." Oh no!
Well, he is the
Gets
cover.
destroyed.
He's the trailer.
Yes,
it's like
yes,
just
okay.
that guy, which I think is smart because killing him off in the very beginning makes you not know anything about the whole movie.
And then you're like, "Oh, I have to reset everything now."
Yeah. The only character that I really know from outside of this is the like the
Moody guy?
the smart guy or whatever you want to call him. Like
I called
like
him the moody guy because he's
yeah.
like, "Life's not even
the
worth living."
cynic.
I wasn't exactly bursting with joie de vivre before I got here. Life just sucks in general.
Oh, I can't stand that attitude.
The former like
Yeah.
engineer of the cube, whatever.
Yeah.
He's in Stargate Atlantis.
Yeah.
And I've
So-
seen him a few other times in
Yeah.
things, but I only really watched him in Stargate
Yeah,
Atlantis.
he's McKay from the later parts of Atlantis, I want to say,
Mm-hmm.
and the math chick is Esri Dax from Deep Space Nine.
Prime numbers! Prime numbers!
Oh, I didn't recognize
So
her.
I was like, oh.
Okay.
Both of them, I was like, you look really familiar. You're obviously somebody, and I had to go creeping to find those
yeah,
things.
she
but
did
yes.
look familiar, but
yeah.
did not know who she was.
Yeah.
I think that like this could be interesting. They're remaking this now, a Japanese version.
Oh,
of it.
I didn't know any of that, and I'm laughing because when you said they're remaking that, I was like, oh no, and then you said a Japanese version. I was like, oh wait a minute, it's gonna be
Yeah.
good because I
No,
feel like
it
that
could be interesting.
that flavor. Because
Yeah.
honestly, now that I'm an old man, I want them because like this movie's politics come up like there's two conversations
Mm-hmm.
that are really like hammy and they go on a long time and they're very overt or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that, but I feel like if the movie was more about that and could layer that stuff in a little smoother, right, I'd be more into it. And I know there are certain Asian movies and just every other place than America that can structure the whole movie. I haven't seen The Platform.
I was
haven't
gonna say
seen Parasite.
I picture
Yeah.
it being like The Platform,
Yeah.
and I enjoyed that film.
Just from like trailers and like YouTube thumbnails,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, that's so awesome, this metaphor they're using or whatever, right? So I feel
Yeah.
like you could do, The Cube, like, because there's this long conversation about where are we? What is this? Oh, you think the military-industrial complex? What? It's this fucking
The
long
issue I had
thing.
with
I'm
that
like, oh,
conversation
come on.
was,
Yeah.
like, I understand the Moody Man, as you referenced him. Like, he did work on this project, but self-admittedly, I worked on a small part of this thing, and everyone was
Yeah.
just a cog building up this whole thing. So
I talked on the phone to some people, other guys like me, specialists working on small details. Nobody knew what it was. Nobody cared.
like, he didn't necessarily know anything, but like, so everything he was saying, I took it as almost an opinion, not
Yeah.
a fact. And then they based a lot of their thoughts on that, and I'm like,
Yeah,
you're
well-
making a lot of assumptions, and then your assumptions are based on an assumption.
I think Moody Man is like I think this is written, directed, whatever, by a foreign guy, I believe is the whole thing.
Yeah,
Like
it's
the
written by two
influence.
guys. One of them is
Okay.
the director.
Good.
As
All right.
well,
I was
yeah.
gonna say because this feels very like auteurish and like this is intentional and like they are like debating like the nature of life by using a like terrorizing cube as like a metaphor or whatever. So I think he's the one who like makes them all
Is planting that seed,
well,
yeah.
and he's like the old liberal lady, like takes his thing to be like, oh shit, you're right, and like the like Zoomer, like then it would have been like the young millennial, but now it fits better for a Zoomer. Is like I've been feeling guilty about destroying the Earth since I was 7.
I felt guilty for ruining the world since I was like 7. God. God.
or whatever. And I'm like, okay, cool. This is like everyone fits a certain role and they're all
Yeah.
debating life, but a cube. But it's way too like we're doing a play
it's hyped
now.
up
where
to
we- where we
11
where
though,
like,
like,
do-
where
yeah.
the cop goes insane super fast.
A man and a woman, two halves of the equation. I take you down. The perfect key. I slip you in the lock.
The doctor's death, I was like, wait a minute, I don't understand this at
When
all.
when he drops her? Or-
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
So like he risks his life diving out, catching himself like by his toes
Yes.
to like save her.
Very strong toes.
And then holds her the whole time she climbs up, and then just goes like, and lets her go.
So-
and I'm like, you could have made this, and like at that point they're like, pretty much you know you're a murderer. And later like he says it, and they actually know he's a murderer.
You dropped her.
But
Very quickly
it could have
after,
been
yeah.
such a like, if you wanted her dead, don't jump dive out a
So-
window to save her.
I think he realized he was going to kill her at the end there too, is why.
Probably.
Because his face changes. I like that moment when his face changes and stuff. But yeah, I think it's like
I
overall.
like that actor a lot, actually.
Yes.
I don't know him from much.
I know. He was on some of their TV shows,
yeah.
I think, whatever. But it's a wasted opportunity because they all kind of instantly know that he did it, and then like 2 scenes later he confirms it.
What
It's
it
like
should have been,
very
and it
whatever,
would have
yeah.
even played with how the movie ends, whether he ever vocalizes it or says it at the very end, should have been like, I know what it is, only one person can get out of here, and like taking his chance to kill people along the way. And then at the end, when he sees something like, like that they're going to get out, no, I have to stop it. And he's killing them so that he can escape. I think would have been a more like, okay, that makes a little more sense.
I like the idea though for like the pretentious meaning of it, where he's like, no, that bitch like made fun of me. I'm gonna fucking kill her and stuff.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
he thought she was in on it because he said, "Did you beat your kids too?" Or she said, "Did you beat your kids too?" And presumably he does.
she knew
and he
things
said,
about me.
she
Yeah.
knew things about me.
Fucking spies. Him, the retard. Holloway had outside information about my family. But she slipped up, didn't she?
But it wasn't
Yeah.
a wild stretch to assume, hey, you just slapped a woman. I bet you slap other people.
Yeah. No, like I think his character's really well done because I had this
Mm-hmm.
vague memory, not to be woke or whatever, but I was like, ooh, Cube is really old. Does Cube hold up? I feel like there's an autistic kid doing prime number math, and the bad guy is a black guy. Is this all good? What's happening? But both of those things are done done
done well,
fine.
yeah.
They're done well. But his character's awesome. They like call him a Nazi, and there's a part way near the end where he's like, okay, we can sleep, but only for an hour. And like one of the science nerds is like, how the fuck are you gonna know how long an hour is? And he's like, an hour is however long I say it is.
How the fuck are you gonna know how long an hour is?
An hour is as long as I say.
All right, he is literally a like weirdo fascist creep. It's like perfect.
He went through a great character arc, I want to
Yeah.
say too. Where he was a very likable character earlier. He had a line about time where he's like, oh, I've been in here for X amount of hours, 8 hours, 10 hours, whatever. How do you know? 5 o'clock shadow. I shaved just before I got in here.
How long have we been in here?
9 or 10 hours.
How do you know?
5 o'clock shadow. The last thing I remember was shaving.
You thought he was going to save the day. You thought
Yeah.
he was like, oh, good, we have a cop here. We have someone who's like, physical and can like climb the things and do stuff. And I'm like, oh, wow, cool. And then, yeah, it just
You almost
his
think,
paranoia
is he
comes
even
in.
really a cop? Like, was that a lie? Is that what a criminal would say? I am a cop because it would gain some false sense of trust, which almost I would have preferred too, because he performs very non-copily.
I picture, so there's the ACAB angle is one, but also, yes, maybe he was a cop. Maybe part of his divorce and estrangement is like he's no longer, I don't know, right? But yes.
You mentioned the physicality of having this cop on your side, but everyone appears to be super physical.
It's weird, yes.
Like the way they silently go through that. There's that one
Yes.
trap where noise activates it and spikes shoot out and shit. And like that's cool. But even if it was just like the floor is lava type of situation, these motherfuckers are climbing like it's like most people can't do a pull-up,
Yes.
and this is many pull-ups.
I was shocked.
silently.
Yes.
And like one dude has like a boot in his mouth. She's got like her glasses and her shit. Like the autistic kid or whatever his thing
he
is.
can do it
like,
too.
He does it.
I like that you're calling this out because as I said that, I had that thought, but I'm like, I don't know if we're gonna get into that right now. But yes, it's weird because
it's the worst part of the movie for me.
Yeah, like I thought the cops thing. I thought it was like Lost Vikings, where everyone has a specialty and you're gonna use them in different ways. Maybe like, but they never established a way to like reverse the traps or something like that.
No.
Or like disable them once you're in there or something.
Or maybe once they go off, they don't go off again.
Yeah.
But like we see that spike one go multiple times.
So like Scripts Doctor, how about the cops in there and like he goes first, he opens the door, then the dude goes bop again, but like the spikes don't go off, and they're like, oh wait, is it because like
the door's already open?
Like a door's open from the inside? Does that like disable the traps? Oh, interesting. And then they can just go straight down and go ugh, and make noises. No one's even grunting. They're just like, I'm fine doing this. I'm like, oh fuck.
Like somebody should have fallen. Like that would have been a moment. I think I would have been much better to, instead of have him drop that lady, have her fall and die, or add in a few nameless, faceless people just to kill along the way. Because honestly, what do only 2 people die from traps in the whole movie? It's the guy gets acid in the face, and our first nameless guy gets like.
Right, all
like
the death.
cheese
Well,
cuttered.
because Stefan, in the world of the cube world, the cube's not even the most dangerous part.
Man is always the most dangerous.
Man is the most dangerous animal. Of any of the animal kingdom.
But as I like traps and stuff, I think I would have liked to have seen a couple more things happen. So throw in a couple more people, or maybe just some injuries. Like I almost died there. Like that one trap that almost hit the cop. That thing is super interesting.
The razor wire twisty trap thing, yes.
And like the way it cuts his leg, you're like, okay, that didn't impact your life at all.
No, it was fine after that. Yeah, there's not even like a trail of blood or something.
He beats our boy with a shoe like it's a mace, and it's such a weird beating because it's a boot, so it's a blunt instrument, and like he's like bleeding from his back, his like ear is bleeding, he has like 2 black eyes or something. It's such a weird blunt trauma.
When blood was coming out of his ear, I was like, oh my god.
Like, you've killed this boy.
You've beaten this person to death.
And he even hit him a couple times, like straight up punches.
Yeah.
And like you're a person who's not physical can't take punches like that. The guy shouldn't have been able to climb a ladder after that, let alone make his way through this.
I always identify with the nerd characters and everything, so yes, I was like, damn.
And that guy's big. Like the cop is a big guy, so it's not even just like he was an angry man. That is a large man.
Yes. No, and he did things in a very deliberate way. Even when he slaps the chick, when he's doing stuff, you feel the whole thing. So yes, no, I was like, that guy's done. Everything's toast. He probably couldn't have done that stuff before, and he's definitely not gonna be able to do it now. Yes. So if we get around those things, whatever, yes.
It to affect him in some way, but it really, like, none of the injuries actually affect anybody. Like, no one's really even affected emotionally by the loss of people right in front of them.
Yes.
Which I can understand it where it's like, we have to go right now. Like, and speaking of we have to go right now, I was so pissed off at the ending when like, okay, I see sunlight, we've reached the ending, everyone's fucking dilly-dallying, this guy's like, I don't even want to go, nothing's out there for me. Motherfucker, get the hell out of here.
Absolutely.
I would be like, all right, peace, bro, because you're only how many moments away from it rotating?
Okay.
You don't know. You don't know when the rotation's going to happen. And when they say it takes 27 days to rotate again, how did it rotate the first time? How did they get back there now?
When the rooms are in their starting position, the lock is open. But when they move out of alignment, the lock closes.
With a structure this size, it must take days for the rooms to complete a full cycle.
They were like, this is our only chance, whatever that meant or whatever. But yes, so because fascism can never be defeated, it can only be like beaten down a little bit, and it will come back for you. So when you see that light, you have to go for it. You can't let the like cynicism, like you're saying, or the like emo, tendency to be like, what's the point? To like overcome.
I'd be saying, nah, bro, come from inside the tube on the other side. Yeah, you should really get over here.
It's been a good time. No, yeah, you can only make it through if you retain the savant-like innocence of our like one guy who like makes it.
I liked him. He's no Leonardo DiCaprio, but he was pretty good.
No, he was fine.
I didn't move.
Yeah, good. You're gonna have to climb up here, okay?
I don't like that.
I didn't detect any like offensive.
It seemed
from that
solid.
Portrayal. He had like mixed thing.
Yeah. Believed like the mannerisms, even like the way he pitched noises, like I'm like, no, everything seemed level.
I've dealt with special needs people before, and that was fine. Yeah, one super cool thing to like point out, he gets his foot stuck, and she has to like turn him around to like get him there, and he starts walking the wrong way, and she has to like grab him and like point him the right way. And I'm like, oh, that's classic point the special needs person like the correct way to get them going.
I did expect that door to open though. I thought he was gonna like wind his way right around it and like
click, 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 click,
like
or
something. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a tense scene, even though it's like ridiculous.
Yeah.
That whole part where because that's the sound room,
Yes.
right? That all happens in that same fucking room. Yes.
That room is ridiculous. Like there should have been a death there.
Right.
Honestly, you almost thought like, oh, is he gonna get on the cop's back and the cop's gonna carry him through? Because like, how do you instruct silently this dude to like climb down this thing, come back? Like, it seems very, very difficult. Even if you knew this person, they just met him now. You're not sure what the best way to maneuver somebody is.
Absolutely.
He has trouble with different colored rooms. I think blue is one he liked.
Yes.
So like, what if he just said, nope, I'm staying here. I guess you're staying there.
Yeah.
I didn't pick up watching it, but I read a thing about how the colored rooms were to describe different scenes.
Was it?
So like all our like all the learning took place in like green rooms.
Oh my
all
God.
the conflicts happened in red rooms. So like
That's
in addition to like deaths, but actual verbal conflicts were like red rooms, and like blue rooms were something else. It was a thing.
Okay, that's amazing. Blue must be like close call rooms, because the twisty leg trap, I think, was also a blue room. But that's awesome.
Or adventure or something.
I love colored lighting in like movies and shit. But I was like, we only have one room. We have to make it look different.
That's
so
exactly it. This is the much better version of Deep Blue Sea 2, where it's like, okay, we only have one, we're gonna light it, but it actually made sense narratively for the plot. Like,
no, and that's great.
This is
like,
cool.
That's the kind of next level stuff that I'm into, where maybe someone did just say, well, every room can't just be the same fucking room. We have to make it look different, right? So then they used colored lighting to make it look interesting. Then they were like, hey, while we're at this, why don't we subtly color code the actions that take place? Ooh.
And they filmed all the red scenes, then they filmed all the green scenes and all the blue scenes. They have to keep doing these changes.
Oh, because it's 1997. You don't have like Philips Hue, LED where you can just go, go on the app. Oh my God, yeah, right. They had to go.
I did love the set though itself. Like,
yes.
like that cube has a lot going on there. It's very cool.
It looks kind of circuit boardy, but also like it also looks like a Star Trek or some other, like we're on the alien ship and like the weird paneling and stuff.
Like I can't imagine the purpose of like the details like in actual constructing of it, but I assume like that's part of the gears and the things doing things. I like that. I like the doors like like how it closes and does things like automatically.
The little
yeah.
It does have that old movie thing there where you can tell that there's like nothing happening at all, and like all the sounds are just like supposed to make you feel like it's it's
and they
doing
work.
it. Yeah, it's good, but yes, there's some scenes where like someone's lifting it or like lowering it, and I'm like, this is just a fucking it's a thing.
Well, it does go through a change where it's not always done that
properly
way.
Or whatever. Yes.
I think I read something where like they didn't realize they were gonna do that effect until like halfway through the movie. So like the first half ones don't have that, but it doesn't end up being the first half because they filmed out of order. So it's sporadically in there. But I think all of it really works nicely. You don't. It's not jarring. We're like, wait, why doesn't that door do that way? Because you're like, different doors, different things.
I think with the exception of like a tiny amount of like CG scenes that are like dated now, but like Event Horizon-ish kind of like charmingly
has a Lex
dated
feel to me.
Yeah, right. But we like that or whatever. But yeah, like
I like that more than new shit.
It's well, like from like a CG perspective, you can say there's not enough pixels or something. Like you can actually like criticize it like technically, but like that's so sparingly and like not used a lot that it's whatever. It's fine.
No, the movie is mostly carried by the actors. It's not really dependent upon a lot of things, and it does have that practical location that is used for the whole movie, which is it's super impressive.
Cube. Yeah, I love movies that are small, like confined, cast, and
this is Canadian, right?
In something, no idea.
I think it's a Canadian film. Those Canadians know what they're doing.
Everything good is non-American.
Most things.
We'll come back for him.
That's a lie, and you know it.
So when I think back on this movie, the only thing that was like really firmly in my brain was like, suck on this button, it'll keep your saliva going.
Suck on it. Keeps the saliva flowing.
And that's something I've thought about. Like, I'm like, if I'm ever in the desert, I'm gonna suck on a button.
Is that even
guy
good?
I don't know if that's true or not, but fucking, it sounds like a real thing.
The guy spoke with such authority that I assume it's good. But yes, this is great.
And there's a part where the cop guy goes to the guy, like the disabled guy, he's like, you fucking fuck! He's a trap!
You fucking fuck!
That's enough!
He's a trap!
Like,
there's a part where someone's like, are you on glue? Or something like that.
Duh. Have you been on glue all your lives?
When's that
There's a
happen?
few awesome
Are you on
lines.
glue?
I think someone says that. Maybe I said that. I don't know. It's in there
I
somewhere.
picture you just eating popcorn, watching it. Are you on glue?
This guy on glue?
Believe in me. Try and see what I see. How my mind works. The flash when I look into someone's head like a fucking X-ray.
There's some awesome unhinged moments between the characters where they go,
Yeah.
they start wiling out. There's some great stuff. Right in the beginning, there's like a really tense where they're using weird angles, and you're very much like, oh shit, we're in a cube.
Yeah, it's like I think it's almost all handheld stuff in this movie,
right. Yeah,
which is like it stands out. It makes it have a feel to it. There's one part that jumps out at me where there's just like a weird cut to black, like it's a TV show going to commercial, where like they first meet the autistic kid, and he's like, oh, maybe we shouldn't climb just yet, and then it just cuts to black.
Let's not make him do the climbing thing right away.
All away.
And in another room, I'm like, did they climb?
Yeah.
Did they backtrack? What happened there?
Doesn't it do that a few times or no?
That
Just the once?
that particular one is the one that jumped out at me because it was
Yeah.
like it was addressing a hurdle they didn't want to pass and they didn't do it.
They just skip it.
yeah. The magic of cutting to
We
commercial.
should do that in the real
Yeah.
world. Oh, this is gonna be tough. Pick up later when you're done. Yeah.
Single bullet theory. Right on.
I like the Worth characters, all the puns on Worth's name. There's like one where like it's 3 in a row. I forget what they say, but it's like it was worth it. Worth blah blah. Were you worthwhile? It was like something like that where they kept saying these things.
Don't look prime to me.
That your 2 bits worth? Worth?
For what it's worth.
The names are all prisons, which I didn't catch watching it because I don't know enough about prisons. But they all have prison names that refer to their actual like character styles. So like
shit.
the guy who's like handicapped, it's named after a mental facility in Russia, like
insane asylum or something.
criminally insane or something.
Yeah.
And Sam Quentin because he's violent. I forget what other people's names
That's
were,
fucking tight.
but yeah, they all have these things. I was like,
Didn't
oh,
catch it.
that's pretty good.
I don't know
That's a
enough
hard
about
one to
prisons.
catch because it's like I don't know all the world's prisons.
Well, I made a comment like it's a fake name. They have horrible names or something like that. So like that usually that's a tip off when you're like, oh, they're all named after fucking scientists or something.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It's like whatever.
Famous horror directors from the 1950s. Like yeah, some bullshit.
May I?
And before I forget with the button shit, I love when that girl jumps in there and chokes on her button. They're like, gas! It's gas! She's like, I just swallowed my button.
I swallowed my button. Yes, it's great.
It is great.
She doesn't have a button anymore. I don't know if that's good to do because you're making saliva, but then I guess you're swallowing it. I guess that's
It's
fine.
it's a circle. It's like those floating fountains. The water's just going back up.
It's like an infinity fountain.
So the movie ends, our boy Worth gets to be a hero, and he grabs the leg to save, is it Kazan? I forget his name.
One of those.
Gets to save him. The girl dies, and you're like, oh wow,
yes.
wasn't expecting that to happen.
No, I forgot how this movie ended, and I think that's why. Because like Quentin shows up and just impales her with a door handle.
Well, yeah, when you
like,
first see her impaled, you're like,
fuck?
what did he impale her with? It looks like a
Yes.
giant nail. Where the
Right.
fuck did he get that?
I figured like, oh, it's like a part of a trap. Did he go have a whole adventure and like do something crazy? And then it's like, no, he just pried off
he
a
ripped
door
the door
handle,
off.
which is resourceful. It's fine.
Yeah, it shows how brutally strong he is.
It seems like they should have been using door handles instead of boots the whole time then, but I don't want to be nitpicky.
Well, I think the point of the boots was you could pull it back once the trap laid.
Yeah, but they're still like running out of boots by the end
Yeah.
because the traps keep eating the boots.
And like a lot of that happens off camera because
it's
they
fine.
figured it out relatively quickly.
Yeah.
The astronomical numbers.
I can't believe I didn't see it before.
See what?
It seems like if any of these numbers are prime, then the room is trapped.
Very convenient.
I
that
consider
kid's a math
myself to
whiz.
be a like math adjacent person. I don't like theoretical mathematics or physics or whatever, but yeah, just while they're rattling this stuff off, where I'm like, he's like 2, 4, 1, it's bad, it's good. I'm like, I don't fucking know. I have no idea what's going on right now. What's happening?
Yeah.
It's whatever.
Can you tell me the factor of 656?
2,
779?
2,
462?
3.
Clear.
I don't know if figuring out, well, because originally it was figuring out prime numbers, then it was figuring out the root of prime numbers.
Like the number of factors or something, but then what I thought she was saying was that needed to total up to a prime or not, and then
yeah, I
didn't seem
wasn't
like they were
following
doing
all
it.
the math shit.
I'm like, I don't know what's happening.
I was
here.
just resounded to the fact that I'd be dead because I can't do this shit.
But you're touching on a very interesting aspect of this. I feel like the cold open has to be from like a previous group of cubists.
Yeah.
Right?
I would assume.
Is that in canon? I don't know. Because I was like, oh, if like everyone has a part to play and you lose someone, then like you're all just screwed. But you don't know
really,
that
you
yet,
only
right?
like almost the math girl and Kazan like could have done it alone. None of the people really did anything that was required because they all had the physical ability. They all had.
Well, yes, but like I think the like theory is that you
work as a team.
You've like intentionally put all these people together for some reason.
Well, because you could just overlook the numbers and die. Like, what you could be the best mathematician in the world, but if you're not observant, or like again, the whole they left you the reading glasses. Why did they do that?
Well, they took off her jewelry, but they must have put these on you. If nothing's random, why are they here?
And that's cool. Like I like that. Where you're like, oh, okay, that's something to think about. Okay, they took her ring, but they left your reading glasses.
No, but that's like that's showing that guy had to be there because he's the one who's going to look at all the things and try.
Sure.
Right? I don't even know if they, if she ever would have said what she's studying in school. If ever would have occurred to her to look at numbers or whatever. Right?
No.
Which I find super fascinating. But then if one dude just gets ganked like in the cold open, I'm like, what was that guy? And it's like, oh
yeah.
He can smell traps. It's like, fuck, like something crazy like that.
They didn't smell him very well.
I know. He gets cubed. He gets cubed in the cube.
Yeah, that was my note.
It's a work of art.
Wakes up, gets cubed.
You got cubed, motherfucker.
$17,000 rooms. That's so fucking crazy.
I don't even know.
Just think about how much that would cost.
That's awesome dialogue though. But like his rant, I thought was really good. Where he basically talks about how like like someone had like an idea, but that person's been fired or transferred or retired already.
They don't even do this now because it exists, and you
now
have
there's
to justify
someone else. Yeah, exactly. Which is again a metaphor, because why would you build a giant cube? But why do we have all the other things we have? All that shit sucks. It's just a big machine for misery.
I just didn't like it because it seemed like it was like a guess or a thought and not a fact.
Why put people in it?
Because it's here. You have to use it, or you admit it's pointless.
But it is pointless.
And everyone else's statements then got based off that, and like
He was speaking from authority that was not warranted.
Yeah.
But that's because he was, I think, the director or the writer speaking, which is like like Tarantino does that.
No, I know,
right?
but like those things always annoy me because like. Unless you're explicitly saying that, like, I am saying this to the point of narration. Like, I always go, that's just your theory, idiot. I have my own theories.
Well, but his was like closest to like.
Sure, that's probably literally what they're saying, and there are more movies that expound on this.
Oh, the other movies, God, no, but that's my other point. Is like I'm sure they had to check. I guess they were still checking in the rooms even with the numbers, but like at that point, like. Her theory, not being complete, is very sciencey. I like that.
Permutations, a list of all the coordinates that the room passes through, like a map that tells you where the room starts, how many times it moves, and where it moves to.
Because then they like add to the theory later to like refine it. But I feel like you would have gotten rooms wrong, and if you weren't like
they should have by using the wrong assignment.
If you weren't booting all the rooms, I feel like. But I guess they were booting all the rooms because they were running out of boots. So I don't know what's going on really.
There also should have been a thing where they say like when she wants to get rid of the cop or something like okay, this one's good, and then it's not good.
Yeah. Oh God, little like tense stuff you could have done.
I did the math wrong. I'm sorry.
Or like after because then he's just injured again.
Yeah.
Because he's so wily, and he's like, do the math, bitch, and he's grabbing her and stuff. Oh, it'd be great. Like breaks her finger.
Him throwing people through the fucking my God, effortlessly.
Like fucking Uncle Phil, he just like throws him into the next room.
There's a part where he drops Worth down the thing. I'm like, that's 14 foot straight down onto metal.
You want to come with us, Worth? Down the hatch.
Yep.
You should be dead. And then he realizes we're in the same place we started. That's acid face. Oh, fuck.
Oh, we never talked about that. That's an awesome like mindfuck moment still. I thought you were going to nitpick it or something, but it's great when they...
No, I like those kind of moments.
Because they at that moment too, they felt like they just went in a big circle.
Yeah.
They don't understand the cube enough yet. So that makes it even worse because you as the audience are like, oh my God, we've been through so much and we didn't do anything. It's just amazing. It's great. But then the cube is cubing around and shit. It's like Tetrising.
Yeah.
I hate that. How does that work?
All right, guys, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
If you want to support the show, head over to cannibalvideo.com, pick up some merch.
And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's something.
Whatever.
Fuck these motherfuckers.
I've got a pretty fine collection of pornography.
Nice, nice.
Cannibal Video has everything you need. A wide array of VHS and DVDs. We ate the competition, now it's only us. Our expert staff opinion